True story. You see that cop right there? He knocked out a 16-year-old black child, a female, a woman. He knocked out a young girl. He knocked her out, unconscious. He will not be facing charges. This is in Osceola County. The deputy is a school resource officer. His name is Ethan Fournier, who body slammed a black 16-year-old student, okay? He will not be facing charges. This was at Liberty High School. The student's name is Taylor Bracey. Here's that video. The update, the development is that police officer, a school resource officer, and any resource officer will tell you, the good ones, they will tell you they are not there to arrest kids. They are there to be a mentor, to be a guide, to be a help in a way. They're not there to do that, okay? According to the background, he was trying to stop her from fighting. Listen, he knocked the girl out. He knocked her out. The cop in question says that he would like to return to Liberty High School if given the opportunity. Here are some details that led to the incident, okay? The teenager was knocked unconscious when her head hit the concrete after the cop slammed her down. You saw that on the video. Authorities say Fournier was trying to stop Bracey from fighting another student. But Bracey's mother told reporters the altercation was only a verbal one, not a physical one. The video posted on social media of the incident does not show what led up to the body slam. Do we have, okay, let's go to the picture of the young lady. That's the young lady, okay? That is the young lady who was knocked out by this grown ass man. Now here's the reality. If there's a verbal altercation, that happens all across the planet. Okay, especially in high schools, especially when someone has a conflict, right? If you are a resource officer and the only way that you can resolve a verbal altercation among teenagers is to knock out one of the teenagers, come on now. Okay, the aftermath, according to the girl's mom, Jamisha Bracey, the teen suffered from sleeping problems and memory loss after the incident. The cop was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement opened an investigation in January and then turned the findings over to the state attorney. Under the state law, officers are permitted to use force under certain circumstances. They determined, ladies and gentlemen, these folks determined that knocking out a 16-year-old black girl in high school was the appropriate response of this officer. That's what they have now determined. This is a quote from the county sheriff, Marcos Lopez. The quote says, once the officer or the deputy decides we're no longer in control of the situation, he's gonna resort to the tactics that he's trained by. They're not always gonna look pretty, but this was the best way to maintain control of that situation. You sick SOBs. You're telling me that the best way to gain control over a verbal argument is to knock out a 16-year-old black child. That's what you're saying. That's what you're standing by here, Sheriff. That's what you're saying. Y'all are scumbags. That's what you are. Do you have children? You think this is the best way? If your child got into an argument with someone, for a cop to knock out your child because of a verbal argument? A past incident with other students, a Liberty High School student also told TMZ about an incident involving that same cop at the school. Junior Deja Watts said that she thought Fournier was a chill dude, but Watts claims that she saw him use pepper spray on a group of kids who were fighting 2 years ago. She now thinks the whole department is suspicious, okay? This cop was also involved in 2 traffic crashes while on duty. He was fined $166 for careless driving in both incidents. Even the first one that resulted in $3,000 of damage and injured somebody. So this guy has a history of violence against children. He has a history of violence on the road. He has a history of getting away with it. There you have it. Jordan, what are your thoughts?
This is not somebody who should be in a police force, let alone at a school. We shouldn't have cops in schools, period. Like there's no justification for having armed, violent first responders where kids learn. There's better ways. If the justification is for police shootings, which is another, or school shootings, which is another problem altogether that people don't want to respond to. The answer is not putting more people with guns in schools. But moreover, on this incident specifically, he could have killed her. My takeaway watching that video was the thud that you hear when her head hits the concrete. Now I have a friend who was pushed one time, stumbled backward, hit his head on a curb, and almost died.
Wow.
His brain swelled. They had to remove a portion of his skull. Like it's a miracle he is still alive. This could have killed her. Now memory loss, sleeping problems. I'm sure PTSD from this incident will develop later. This is somebody who is a kid. Her brain has not fully formed. She's 16. Like you do not need to tackle her, throw her face first into the pavement to break up a verbal altercation. What I also read about this guy was he's a football coach. So what he did was, it looked a lot like a tackle you would see a linebacker employ, but you're doing that to people who are padded and wearing a helmet. Now he did this to an underage girl, face first into the pavement. Is unbelievably grotesque.
Yeah, and then the way that this department decided to come to his defense, the words that they used in order to make it seem appropriate and within protocol. This is completely insane. And now we're getting information about the background of this cop. No surprise there. He continues to get away with negligent and willfully criminal behavior.